the most important experience in the life of a man is humiliation and failure. And I was not only wrong about Iraq, but I was so wrong that I was humiliated by it. And, I mean, no one attacked me for it because that was the common view at the time, but I hosted a daily TV show in 2002 and early 2003 in the run-up to the Iraq War. Not only did I support it against my better instincts, but I also attacked people who didn't support it by suggesting they were like unpatriotic or on the side of terrorism. Or I really used the lowest possible propaganda techniques to smear people who disagreed with me. And then I went to Iraq in the winter of 2003, right after the invasion, and my life changed forever. And the reason it changed was because I realized how wrong I was. And I made the decision that I had to admit it, and I did admit it in December of 2003 in a New York Times interview. And I'll never forget it. I got a text from or an email from one of my former editors, who's a big neocon, was like, that's disgraceful that you criticized the Iraq War. And I remember thinking, I'm making a permanent break with my old life now because people won't accept this, but I just couldn't continue, A, to tell lies, and B, to pretend that I hadn't previously told lies, because I had. And so I do think the beginning of all wisdom is acknowledging just how screwed up you are. That's the basis of Christianity, but it's also the basis, again, of human wisdom. It's like, I'm the problem. I screwed it up. I am not God. If you start there, you're much more likely to wind up at the truth. And so I just made a decision, and it's hardened over the years, and now it's just ironclad. I'm not lying. I'm just not going to lie. I'm almost 54, not going to live forever. I don't care. I'm not going to lie. Now, if I started using drugs and alcohol again, and maybe I would lie. I hope not, but I probably would. But in my current sober mind, where I've been for 21 years, I'm just not going to lie. And if I get something wrong, I'm just going to admit it. And people accept that. They appreciate it. It adds to your credibility. It doesn't diminish you. It enhances you. Oh, I fucked it up. I'm really sorry. My sincere apologies. I thought this. Now I know this. And I'm bringing it to you. If you do that, people trust you. Why wouldn't they? That's true in our personal lives too. So I'm not lying anymore. And when I saw this Nord Stream thing and they tried to tell me it was Russia, and I said, why would Russia blow up its, I didn't know, but what, explain the motive to me here. Why would Russia blow up its main source of income? What, in the middle of a war? I don't think so. And rather than answer that question or come up with some hypothesis that might win me over, they immediately go to, oh, you're shilling for Putin. And by that point, I've never met Putin. I've never been to Russia. I love Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, but that's kind of the extent of my Russophilia. So, that's insane. I'm not shilling for Putin. I'm an American. Stop. What's the answer? And anyway, that's one of among 1,000 examples. What's wrong with natural immunity? Tell me how that doesn't work, or whatever. To decide, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to go along with these lies, is the most liberating thing you can do. Whether it leads to professional success or failure, it doesn't matter. It enhances you as a person. It makes you stronger. Every time you tell the truth, you become stronger. You feel this power coming into you. By contrast, every time you lie, you get smaller and weaker and more afraid. Think about the times you've lied in your life to hide something from someone else. You become smaller and more afraid the more you lie.
Right.
And so it's been this amazing and beautiful experience for me, to be in the face of all these lies and feel like I don't have to go along with this at all. And were you going to fire me? Okay, fine, go ahead. I'm still not lying. Are you going to arrest me? Go ahead. I'm not lying. Period.
And they'll try to keep foisting crap on you. I want to get to the January 6th stuff in a second here and get you out of here. I want to try to be respectful of your time. But do you ever feel lonely? Because as far as the mainstream media goes, you are an island, a voice, an anti-war voice that I don't see anywhere else. We often feature you on our show as one of the only anti-war voices out there in the mainstream media. That's got to be just stunning to think about, when the anti-war movement of the 60s, and it's just gone, right? It's just dissolved. It's disappeared. Yeah. And now, if you speak out against the war, you're a Putin apologist or whatever. And do you ever feel alone in that? In the mainstream media, do you ever get the criticism, but do you ever feel alone in that?
Well, I did did on February 24th, 2022, when Russia rolled across the border into Ukraine, and my position had been, consistent all along. Like, it feels like we're pushing these countries toward war. It's very clear to me the U.S. government wanted this war, has prevented it from ending. We know from Naftali Bennett, the former Israeli prime minister, that the Biden administration ended the peace accords between those two countries. They want war. And I said that. And I said that right at the beginning. To send the vice president to the Munich Security Conference a week before the war to tell Zelensky in public at a press conference, we want you to join NATO. And I said this at the time. I think every clear-thinking person saw it. It's like, if you were encouraging China to put nuclear weapons in Tijuana, like, that would be a massive threat to our country, to our national security, of course. And that's what we were encouraging. So why would you encourage that if you weren't trying to push Putin to war? Clearly they were. And I said that. And I mean, I don't think there was anybody who agreed with me in public, not one person. There were, a lot of people that I work around who are very offended by that. I still think it's true. It is true. As far as I know, it's true.
Oh, yeah.
And I've just never changed. I'm gratified to see that public opinion has swung. But again, even if, look, this is too big an issue to sit out, it's too big an issue to lie about. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe Putin does have designs on Belgium. Maybe if we don't stop him in the Donbass, they're going to be in San Antonio. Maybe I'm just completely on another planet. Maybe there's no risk of nuclear war. Maybe the Biden administration really was trying to broker a peace. Maybe they're not trying to steal Crimea. I mean, maybe everybody is sane except me.
Right.
Maybe they didn't blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. At this point, I can only repeat what I believe, and I'm saying what I really think, and I think it really, really matters. And if I get fired for it, I don't know what to say. I'm not going to change. And if I will say, I probably shouldn't admit this, but the people that I work for, whatever you think of the company that I work for, one of them, one of the top people, texted me the other day about something, very nice text, and said, I just, but for the record, I really disagree with you on Ukraine. And I wrote back and I said, I know you do. And I'm so grateful that you let me disagree with you in public. This is someone I work for, a well-known person. I was like, I'm so grateful that you let me disagree. I think that's an incredibly rare thing. Right. I don't think that's allowed in any other news organization. So whatever you think of Fox, not a perfect company, of course. You worked there for years. But they are allowing me to say things they disagree with. And I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Unlike what we've seen on YouTube, where our show has been blocked, banned, and taken down for having disagreements about the Ukraine war, and taken down for two weeks when we call it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we've had 4 times now. 4 times that's happened over the past year because of their their pro-Ukraine stance, and when you call out the bullshit and show the propaganda and you share that information, you get blocked. I don't know if they've softened their position or not, but that's the way it's been.
That's crazy. I mean, but I guess the difference is I work for a huge publicly held company, and there are certainly downsides to that. But one upside is it doesn't matter what YouTube thinks. But if you're an independent broadcaster making your own journalism, and you've got in your case 3 children and like a life,
right?
This is your job. That's really scary. That's really scary.
And that's how they've been silencing voices. That's what they've been doing, taking down these small channels. They've been doing that. We saw that on Twitter, right? We saw what was happening on Twitter. So the Twitter files revealed exactly this collusion.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ramp. Are you a small business owner or just even a large business owner? And are you just sick and tired of trying to deal with all the different business finances? You've got to try Ramp. It could be a complete game changer. If you feel like your finance software isn't cutting it, we get emails all the time from people like, what do you guys use to run your businesses? Because we're just using we're just using random spreadsheets. No. You need to try Ramp. It's a corporate card and expense management software designed to help you save time and put money back in your pocket. Ramp gives finance teams unprecedented control and insight into company spend. With Ramp, you'll be able to issue cards to every employee with limits and restrictions and automate expense reporting so you can stop wasting time at the end of the month. Their accounting software automatically collects receipts and categorizes your expense in real time, so you don't have to. You'll never have to choose and hunt down a receipt again, and your employees will no longer spend hours submitting expense reports. Can I tell you a story? Years ago, when I worked in the big corporate world in New York City, when I would do a business trip, oh my God, my expense reports would take hours to go through. The software was the worst thing in the world. And that's why so many people never even submitted their expense reports, because they were such a pain, so they just ate that cost. Can you imagine being an employee going away for work, but you just hated the software so much you never did it? No, not with Ramp. Ramp saves you time and money, because businesses that use Ramp save an average of 3.5% the first year. Ramp is easy to use, so get started. You can issue virtual to physical cards and start making payments in less than 15 minutes, whether you have 5 employees or 5,000. And now you'll get $250 when you join Ramp. That's right. When you go to ramp.com/redacted, ramp.com/redacted, you're going to get $250 just for joining. That's right. So here's what you do. Go to ramp.com/redacted. Ramp.com/redacted.